Tag. Heute präsentieren wir Ihnen eine unserer virtuellen Veranstaltungen des Jahres 2021. Auf Englisch heißt diese People and Service: The Excellence of Filipinos. In diesem Projekt des philippinischen Honorarkonsulats werden wir uns auf Menschen fokussieren, die Außergewöhnliches leisten und eine vorbildliche Arbeitseinstellung haben. Hier werden Sie Ärzte, Pädagogen, Banker, Webdesigner und andere Mitglieder der Filipino-Community in Baden-Württemberg treffen. Einige unserer Gäste leben fast schon 50 Jahre hier. Jede dieser Persönlichkeiten hat eine interessante Geschichte über das Leben als philippinischer Einwanderer in Deutschland zu berichten. Lassen Sie uns Ihren Lebensweg anhören. Wir sind sicher, dass einige von Ihnen von den Erfahrungen unserer Gäste noch lernen und sich inspirieren lassen werden. In diesem Sinne darf ich das Wort unseren Moderatoren, Frau Rodalisa Stegmeier, Konsularassistentin des Philippinischen Honorarkonsulats in Stuttgart, und Herrn Ramoncito Lazaro Picar, Vizepräsident der Philippine Nurses Community in Germany, übergeben. Vielen Dank.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all our viewers here in Germany and in the Philippines. Good morning, Mon.
Good morning, Tita Roda.
So, finally, we made it.
Yes,
We're now in our...
After ilang months.
Yes, in the planning and organizing, finally we made it. And thank you, Dr. Neumar, for giving us an overview of this program. And I will just translate a bit because he spoke in Deutsch, which I told him to do so our German friends could also watch and understand what this is all about. Well, this is about it's our first pandemic virtual presentation project for this year. And this is in coordination with the Filipino nurses community in Germany. And as Dr. Neumar said, in this program, you will get to meet some doctors, educators, bankers, web developers, among others. And as we present our guests, we will highlight and they will share their experiences, and we hope you could also learn from those experiences. Some of them have been here for quite a long time, and some of them are relatively new, but nonetheless, they have their story to share, and hopefully that the viewers could also learn from them. So, Mon, simulan na natin ang ating buena mano. Ikaw magpapakilala o ako? I'm sure mas kilala mo siya kaysa sa akin, although ako matagal ko na siyang kilala, but we haven't really gone face-to-face and was never really close until I restarted in 2017 with Dr. Neumar.
I think mas kilala mo siya, tita, ng mas matagal. So, I think it's better na ikaw
mas matanda ako sa'yo. Okay.
Parang gano'n na din.
Well, actually, he is a name to reckon in Stuttgart. I've been hearing his name, and people would ask me, do you know this doctor? I said, well, I know his name, but I haven't met him. Dapat ko ba siyang kilalanin? Well, he is somebody to know and to reckon. He is a medical graduate from the University of Santo Tomas, one of the oldest universities in Asia. And he first set foot in Germany in the late 70s. Pinanganak ka na ba nun?
Parang wala pa.
So I guess you were still being planned by your parents at the time. And since then, he has made Germany his first home. So let's not make it any longer. Let's all welcome Dr. Fortunato Rosales, otherwise known to all of us here as Doc King. Hello po. Good morning, Doc.
Oh, hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Ma'am Rhoda and Sir Monchito.
Maka-ma'am naman si Doc, grabe.
Oo, maka-sir naman.
Salamat pala kay Dr. Axel Neuma, yung Honorary Consul in Stuttgart, for his nice introduction. No? And also thanks to the Ambassador, Her Majesty, Her Excellency, Maria Teresa Dizon de Vega, for letting me spearhead this pilot project, the Consulate of Stuttgart, as a series of interviews regarding people who live here and who left indelible impressions in Baden-Württemberg.
Thank you very much, Doc, also for agreeing to be our very first guest. So now everybody is excited to hear your road to Germany. Please share us your story. Bakit, paano, how and why did you end up in Germany? And of course, we're happy that you are still here with us.
Okay. Okay, can we have the first picture?
Yan. Oy, see.
Oh.
Doc,
Wow,
parang,
Doc.
parang nai-imagine ko naka-bell bottom ka at the time.
Yes, that was a long time ago.
With a long hair.
Yes, I was 24 then when I graduated medicine in the University of Santo Tomas. Pag nagro-roll call kami, tawag sa akin Miss Rosales kasi I really refused to cut my hair.
Mainit
So,
po.
I had my internship in the Rizal Medical Hospital, took my board, and then when I passed it, I started in the Municipal Health Office in Pasig. Yeah, as a general practitioner, we were doing outpatient consultations and inoculations and family planning until somebody asked me to go with them as a group of ambassadors to Germany. It was a sponsorship between the Department of Tourism and Philippine Airlines. Kaya libre kaming nakapunta sa Germany. We landed in Frankfurt, but we stayed with our foster parents in Cologne. And after that, we had a cultural show and attended International Youth Festival, which was held on a castle on top of a mountain on the Rhine, along the Rhine River. It is called Oberwesel Castle. Sabi nila, yung mga pictures namin, ma'am, nandun pa rin sa
until now.
castle na yon.
Wow.
Until now, yes.
So you were really promoting the Philippine culture with the dances and also performances.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've been hosting, and now you are the host to all these visiting performers here in Germany. And we thank you for all the hosting you did to all our performers who visited here, which we will see later on in the photos, no? And by the way, so at the time there was still the border, East and West Germany. So who were the participants mostly coming from the West or the East?
Yeah, it was mostly coming from West, and it was international. So there were also participants from the Arabian countries and also from Spain, from France, no? And our part in the show was to sing and to dance, and you can imagine me dancing the sayaw sa bangko or maglalatik and also tinikling with matching audience participation. Kaya we were a hit that night kasi syempre tuwan-tuwa sila na they are able to dance between the bamboo poles. No? After that,
from there, did you stay or did you go back to the Philippines?
I stayed.
How did you end up being a doctor in Germany?
Yes, ma'am. Maybe I stayed a few weeks in Frankfurt with Agnes de la Rosa and Jane Secundo, and they accompanied me to the Arbeitsamt or Department of Labor, and I asked them if I could get a job here, and they were asking me to speak in German. Pero wala talaga akong alam. I just knew, ma'am, I just knew eins, zwei, Polizei. So they told me to go back to the Philippines and learn German. So I did that too. And then I enrolled in the Goethe Institute, and I also got an address of a hospital in Stuttgart where there were Filipino doctors.
At the time, there were already Filipino doctors?
Yes, there were some Filipino doctors there. But as I went there, they already moved somewhere else. I went back to the Philippines and continued my work after 1.5 years. they gave me the working permit, so I was back to Stuttgart.
So mga around, it was around 1980 already. Yes, now we see the picture.
1980.
Ayan.
Last year, about 40 years na ako dito.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, started my training here in the anesthesia department. Now it's a pediatric hospital. I think the biggest one until now in Germany.
Yes, all the hospitals.
And I stayed there for about 10 years. I still have also my colleagues, and during the 1980s, no? I would like to.
Are they still here in Stuttgart, Doc?
Yes, I met them in Stuttgart, 1980. Yeah, so I want to greet them. I want to greet
Sige
them.
Po. Shout out tayo
Si
sa
Dr.
mga...
Rao sa Karbach, also from the Olga Hospital. Si Dr. Heka from the Diaconisen. Si Dr. Guevara from Marian Hospital. Si Dr. Chong from Baknang, he passed away. Si Dr. Padla in the American Hospital. Si Dr. Rosa Marasigan and Dr. Freddy De Leon of the Krankenhaus Bad Cannstatt.
I hope we could, to all the doctors you mentioned, perhaps after the pandemic, I hope to meet you also personally. We have a lot to talk about.
Yes. Maybe they
Marami
also
din pala tayong doctors, no, na nandito sa Stuttgart.
Yes, before. Pero yung after that, wala na.
Pero si Dr. Sandvald is still here.
Yes, I think sa Schiller-Huhet, Doc, merong isang Filipina doctor. I met her last year, pero nakalimutan ko yung pangalan niya eh.
They're staying now here, no? Siguro asawa nila is German, kaya they can stay here.
Parang Doc, yes po.
Yes.
Okay, so then you were at Olga Hospital, and were you what position were you holding? Were you arts, arts, or?
No, assistants arts muna tawag.
Okay.
Siyempre normal ka, tapos after 2-3 years of Weiterbildung, sometimes 5 years, tsaka ka palang mapopromote sa OBA arts kapag pumasa ka na ng kanilang oral exams to be Fac Arts.
Which you reached, which you made.
Yes, in 1988. And then I became OBA Arts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And during this time, do you have a question?
Yes, I wanted to find out. Yeah.
Sige, Roda.
Sige mon, go ahead.
Mahirap po ba yung pag-process ninyo ng pagiging doctor ninyo dito sa Germany? Like the nurses, medyo matagal yung process nung sa amin eh. Siguro abutin ng 1 to 2 years. Yung sa inyo, Doc, kano katagal yung inabot ninyo para maging doctor kayo dito sa Germany?
And also, if I may add to that, Doc, sorry, before you answer, we also have 2 Filipinas here. I will say their names, but not their last names. Si Jane and si Anne. Jane is a pediatrician of 20 years experience. She's just starting with accreditation to be a practitioner, to be accredited here, while Anne is already almost at the tail end of her accreditation. And they're telling me that they're really going through a hurdle in terms of paperwork and submission of documents, aside, of course, from learning the language. So in your case, as Mon asked, how difficult was it?
Yeah, in my case, it was a different one kasi I applied directly to the hospital, and they gave me also nagkaroon sila ng opening, so they gave me the slot already, so I could go to the German embassy and apply for it, so I could fly here to Stuttgart. Yeah,
but that's already through the Regierungspresidium, no? Accreditation.
Siyempre, dadaan ka na Regierungspresidium para mabigyan ka na ng residence permit here, and also to work. Yeah.
All right.
Dati wala naman mga B1, B2 language test that you have to do. Yeah. Kaya they also sent us to school. Like my chief, she sent me 3 times a week in the afternoon to go to German school.
Because I was going to ask that, how was the language barrier, you know?
I studied German about 1.5 years in the Philippines. Pero nung dumating ako rito, they were all speaking dialect. Kaya
Oh,
hindi ko na sila masyadong maintindihan.
Schwabish and some other
Yes, ang
dialects.
tawag yan, Schwabish. Minsan yung pasyente, I don't know, sasabihin niya sa'yo, rolemachen, rolemachen.
Mhm.
It means, translated, it means to make a roll, no? Pero actually, ang ibig sabihin ng rolemachen is to make pipi.
Ah,
I don't know
so
if you know that.
so toilet and papel roll,
Yes,
if you
yes.
like.
Pag sinabi nilang rolemachen, ibig sabihin nun, gusto nilang pumunta sa toilet.
Ah,
And all of that
Hindi
I
nang
have to
mahirap.
learn. Ha?
Yun din ang mahirap, di ba, Doc?
nakaka-relate si Mon.
Kasi-
Nakaka-relate si Mon.
Yes, kasi sa Pilipinas, ang pinag-aralan natin is Hochdeutsch. And pagdating mo dito, Swabish. Lalo
Yes,
na mga
yes,
pasyente mo is matatanda. So, mostly
Yes,
sila
yes, yes.
nagsasalita ng Swabish.
That's
Yeah,
Ganun
true.
din kami nung una eh.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I may
that's
just
true.
translate in English, Mon was saying that, you know, in Manila or in Goethe, we try to learn the Hochdeutsch, but when you get here, you hear the dialects, the Schwabish, and it's a totally
course.
different language. So that's another challenge, no?
Yeah, pero ibig sabihin, then you have to learn, then you learn two different languages. One isang Hochdeutsch at tapos isang Schwabish.
That's true. So it's not easy.
Oh, masasanay ka din.
Ah, okay.
Mas lalo na yung mga bata.
That's the
They also-
talent
they
of
also-
Filipinos also to adjust and learn fast.
Of course. Okay. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay. That is then the Filipino community. Sometime in 1985, the honorary consul of Stuttgart, it was the Consul Lothar Strobel. Tsaka yung
Yes.
kanyang secretary, si Miss
Auring.
Aurora Tenorio,
Right.
they proposed a meeting for all the Filipinos in Stuttgart. Sabi nila, census daw.
Mhm.
They said I had to attend. No, walang excuses.
Mhm.
Only to find out na nag-election doon, ginawa akong president. Kaya I was the first elected president of the first Filipino organization in Stuttgart.
I didn't know that, Doc. Now I'm learning.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Kaya, pero ano na pa namin, it's a tedious process. Yung organization na to, maraming kailangan gumawa ka ng sarili mong constitution, may preamble, everything. Tapos isasubmit mo pa sa Amtsgericht, sa district council for approval.
I think that's still the same procedure if you want to be a registered
Yes, yes.
organization or Verein.
Yes, ma'am. Marami naman privileges yun yung Verein. Kaya it has to be like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Our first officers, some of them are in the Philippines now. Our vice president was Paul Tritasco. Secretary was Cora Nonenmacher. Secretary is Hans Klingele, who passed away. And our press relations officers were two Visayan girls, Mrs. Esther Klingele and yes, man, and Mrs. Queenie Aman, who is residing now in Cebu.
So what were your experiences before as a community leader in comparison to your experiences now in the current community? Is there a way to compare, or is there anything that we had in the past that you wish it would continue this year? Or is there anything that is still present among the Filipino community?
Yeah, I think it's still continuing now. Kasi yung ano lang namin, kasi nung first time na nagtayo kami ng organization, ang talagang maraming sumama. They really wanted to join and be a part of it, no? So yung mga taga outside of Stuttgart pumupunta rin, sumasama din sa amin sa mga parties, kaya palaki na ng palaki yung party, mga membership namin noon.
That's good.
And yeah, kaya palagi na lang nag-iintay na we do have Independence Day, do have Christmas party, do have Halloween, mga ganyan. And ano naman, lahat naman yung nagawa namin. Yeah.
Good. So after you became a Filipino community leader, were you at that time still a practicing doctor, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I could do that until the late 90s. Late 80s when I became OBAT. So we had more work to do
Mhm.
and I had no more time for the Filipino community. But
Okay.
it
So-
was handed over to Mr. Leo Britannia.
Yes, I remember him. So
Yes.
after this, let's go back to your profession as a doctor. So did I understand that you put up a clinic, or was that later on? Until when
Yes.
were you connected with the hospital, and until
Okay.
when did you give it up?
Yes. The Olga Hospital, I was there until 1992.
Mhm.
And then I decided to give it up because it was also a time that the anesthesiologists can be freelance. They can be their own bosses.
Since you can be
And-
independent, so to speak.
Yes.
No?
Yes. And quite against the will of many my colleagues in Olga Hospital, they were saying, you are really crazy because we are really ambitioning for that position, and then you just give it up like that. And
You
I
were
said-
Obaats already at that time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. I
Well,
was
I can
over
understand your colleagues.
for about 4 to 5 years. I was already over, and then
Okay.
I had to leave it for I think greener pastures for me.
Mhm.
So I worked first with 3 surgeons in Tübingen,
Mhm.
and then I moved to Stuttgart, and I bought a clinic from a colleague who was retiring.
Mhm.
And then it was too small, so we built another one. And this is
Mhm.
one. These are in the Olga Strasse.
Mhm.
It's a clinic, ambulatory clinic run by anesthesiologists like me.
Mhm.
And we had 3 operating rooms. The first, I named them after my siblings.
Mhm.
This one is Rebecca MD. She is a marriage degree. And the
Mhm.
second one is
MD.
Rolando MD. He is a surgeon in Pasig. And the third operating room is Ramon MD. He is an anesthesiologist in New Jersey.
Okay.
And then if we the next pictures, they will show also that we had also
Next slide, please.
recovery beds. Yeah. And
I know this one.
and we also had Filipino German nurse, si Sandra Chavez.
Yes,
Si
I
Ate
know
Sandra.
her.
Yes,
I know her.
I
Yes,
know her
and then
also.
behind is then the Dr. Sian Kudyamachi.
Mhm.
She studied in Tübingen. Is now a doctor.
So this was the Olga clinic already.
Yes, that's already my clinic.
I know your
Yes.
clinic. I've been there because my son had to do something ambulant also.
Okay.
So-
The next one is I think it's with the staff of the. Oh, that's one room,
Mhm.
and then that's
Recovery?
the recovery beds. Yes.
So okay. So doc, how long did you keep this clinic? How long did you
Yes.
operate this clinic?
Okay. This is my staff. No, before. This also with Mr. Ding and Mrs. Cynthia
Del Rio, yes.
They were
I
both
know.
in my clinic. I could also say that I was ninong there for many small German Filipino boys. They were circumcised. Akong ninong sa tuli, and many of them are already have their own children.
Okay.
Okay.
So how
And,
long was it? How long was it, Doc?
This clinic I had until 2006.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
2006. Actually, I plan to give it up because of too much work, and it was pressuring me. And so we just tested to advertise it, to sell it. On we are expected that we will have an offer in 2 or 3 years, but somebody wanted it badly in 2 months, so he had it and I had to go.
So how soon was that from the time you posted the announcement till the uninterested somebody took over?
1 or 2 months
Only.
and then but we still had 1 year together. We worked together because I have to train him also, because we had a lot of he had a lot of pediatric patients.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then after this, yeah, I think the next
Next
slide
please.
will, yeah.
So from the clinic to karaoke bar. What a switch.
Yes, ma'am. I ventured into this kasi mahilig din kami talaga sa music and wala pa rin kaming
Lahat
ibang
tayo.
tambayan.
Lahat tayo
Yes.
mahilig.
Yes, ma'am.
Filipinos
walang
love to
ibang,
sing.
British Filipinish karaoke.
walang ibang tambayan sa Stuttgart. Kaya sabi ko, might as well, subukan.
Mhm.
And hindi naman nakakapagsisi na ang dami-dami talaga na we won many friends. Ang
Yeah, that's what,
dami-dami.
yeah. That's what I was going to ask you because you were over arts and then ventured in the karaoke bar, and it's quite a shift.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask what was your success level from that switch, and is there anything that you regret? Huh?
Regret, no. But yun lang panghihinayang. It's sayang na kasi this karaoke bar I could only keep for about maybe 7 months na. Siguro
Okay.
I should have stayed, could have stayed there longer kung talagang kumikita siya ng mabuti.
Mhm.
Pero ibig sabihin kahit naman yung very short na yon period, talagang ang dami-dami na mga moments shared together with the Filipinos here. And they could also attest to that na talagang we had a lot of good times together.
And that's something money can't buy.
No. Yun na nga, yung the loss of money still is overweighed by the blessings you had, you got, the friends you won, di ba?
Were there also Germans who went to the karaoke bar and
Of course. Kaya lang, minsan very rowdy sila pag nakakainom na yun. Masyado nung maingay, magulo.
Well,
Hindi pareho ng mga Asians na talagang nakikinig sila. Tapos pinapalapa nila yung mga nagpe-perform. Talagang interesado talaga sila. Like say, mga Germans pag karaoke usually umiinom sila tapos kantahan lang ganon. Paano lang, parang sa kanila good time lang. Pero sa atin kasi ang karaoke talagang parang pinapakita mo rin yung di mo, yung
skills.
galing mong kumanta.
Yes. Well, I guess
marami,
after you had 2 bottles, everybody can be a singer, I guess.
Hindi naman, pero marami ng graduate dyan ng mga Filipinos, Filipinas na talagang they tried at first to sing and then it was naging okay. Tapos talagang hanggang ngayon kumakanta na sila.
Okay. So from after this karaoke, you said 7 months. What happened? When you sold it, you gave it up, did you continue to practice your profession?
Yes, I continued to be a freelance anesthesiologist. So I could go to the hospital, I could go to a small clinic, I could go to a dental clinic according to my time. I can say I will do that or not.
So that's the advantage of being freelancer.
Yes.
So okay.
And I'm doing that until now. Okay.
So on the next slide, well, for somebody like Mon who doesn't know Chris Medina because he wasn't probably born yet at that time. So what is this picture? And is this part of a Filipino event or?
Yes. I met him in Berlin. So I invited him to go to Stuttgart. And we did, he had a performance in Logo restaurant owned by Mrs. Chit and Mr. Alexander Laub. And he is incomparable. He plays the piano. His fingers run and glide on the keyboard. And he is really a very good singer, entertainer. He's more than our Udo Jürgens here in Germany. Because he could sing Tagalog, he could sing the musicals, Phantom of the Opera, everything. He did that for two hours.
So he was a visiting performer.
He was just a guest there. Yeah.
Okay.
He was just a guest there because I met him in Berlin, and I told him, you come to Stuttgart and you can show your prowess to the fellow Stuttgarts here.
That's good.
And if makikita nila ngayon yan, yung mga nanonood, itong si Chris Medina, and they will still maybe remember him and dream about this very wonderful
With the
concert.
likes of Tita Blanquita, or who else were your contemporaries here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, Doc, are there any activities after this, or did you continue to become an active member of the community? Because like I said, I haven't really got to know you until, well, I hear you, but I never got to see you until recently. So is there, after this, maybe there's another picture showing Doc? Okay. So where is this, Doc?
No, this is only so napabasa, no, which we started. It was also started by Mrs. Cynthia Del Rio, I think mga 90s or late 80s, in a small group. Tapos it naging malaki na, tapos we did that. This one is in the clinic, yeah. Still had it. And then we also did one in the karaoke bar, and then now it's done in the church already.
So just to insert among these experiences, Doc, what sort of is there anything that you think Germans have learned or could learn from the Filipinos and vice versa? Ikaw, Mon, ano sa tingin mo natutunan nila sa atin? O ano matutunan nila sa atin? Si Doc muna.
Matututunan nila sa atin na mababaw lang ang kaligayahan natin.
That's true. We are a happy person. I mean, it's easy to make us happy.
Yeah, pero
And what can we learn from the Germans, in your opinion? I mean, you've been here for so long. You've had encounters with so many Germans and Filipinos alike, and you probably brought a bit of our culture to them, and you receive a bit of them.
Yeah.
So,
siyempre, alam naman natin yung German Pünktlichkeit, yung kanilang
being on time.
Being on time, yes, and also the Genauigkeit, this exactness that they have. Yeah, that is what. Sometimes we can acquire it from them, and sometimes hindi na rin tayo masyadong nagiging late. Talaga minsan we appear, punta tayo sa meeting na mga mga 5 minutes before. We are never late, no?
That's true.
Yeah, that's
so Filipino time is on time, not late.
yeah.
It should be like that, at least.
It's not Filipino always late, no?
Yes. Okay, so that's a little bit of the culture. What about your experiences with other community members? Did you also? I heard that you've been a regular host to some of. Yes, that's the one. I heard that you've been a regular host to the visiting performers like the UST, the UP Madrigal singers, and we're really very happy that you've done that to our kababayans. And the very last one was, of course, Musicapella. So, how was it with these young people, and what were your experiences with them, and what could you partake? Other Filipino nationals also who haven't probably done hosting a visiting performers.
Siyempre, mag-host ka ng mga fellow, ng countrymen mo, para bang nasa Pilipinas ka lang uli. Kasi siyempre, ganun ng lahat ng mga ugali nila, may ingay, magulo, tapos gusto nila palagi kumakain, ganyan.
Of
Kaya
course.
nung na-host ko ang UST singers, I brought them to this. It was April Volksfest. Yeah. No, I think Volksfest. No, it's not Volksfest. It's April. No.
Frühlingsfest.
Yeah, Spring Festival. Yeah. Kaya they were really amazed, and they were natuwan-tuwa sila, nakita nila na nagtatalunan yung mga Germans, nagsasayawan above sa kanilang mga tables, and they were eating Schweinshaxe, kung ano-ano, tsaka mga schnitzel, and drinking diesel-liter beer, no? Di ba? Nakita mo sa picture that they really enjoyed it, and they will really not forget it their lifetime.
So,
and sometimes they still contact me, no? Sometimes pag umuwi ako, I see them. Yeah.
I guess the other reason they are probably watching. I know that the e-music capella are watching this program because they liked and they made some comments on Facebook like Tristan,
Yeah,
hello. Yeah.
si Sister
I
Tristan
think the next
Ignacio.
picture is probably the picture of e-music capella one. Not yet.
No,
not
this is
yet.
the sinulog. No?
Mhm.
It was from si Frohan Kretinga, si Marina.
Rothenburg.
She's not here,
From
yeah.
Rothenburg, yeah.
Rothenburg, yeah. They are from Tübingen together with Vicky Rupp and Mirna Haman and
Mhm.
Alfredo Silacan, and they started this. And I think nag-umpisa lang mga 12 lang sila tapos hanggang naging over 1,000 na, kaya
Mhm.
talagang very very big one ang sinulog. Na
So-
sometimes limited na rin ang
That's
ang
right.
pagpunta sa kanila
Yes.
kasi may problema ang mga pulis, syempre.
Well,
Syempre,
but
about
it
the
could-
security.
I know that the police had sometimes checked because there were like over close to 2,000 people in the Halle and they had to check what was going on.
Yes, because
Yeah.
baka daw gumiba yung hali kasi it was never so full with 2,000
That's true.
people, no?
Maybe
Tapos
hopefully we can
sayawang
do
pa na.
that again next year. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Kailangan
Yeah.
na natin ng leader Halle next
Oh,
year.
we will rent the Lida Halle in
Okay.
Stuttgart. We will do a concert all day long in the Lida Halle. Oh, okay. Next slide, Doc. I think
I think this
another-
is Simbang Gabi.
That is the Simbang Gabi. Also, they started also this a few years ago, no? Pero we had a few or many Filipino priests here already. Si Father Emil Santos, si Father Louis Collante, si Father Dino, wala na rin.
Dino. Wala na si Father
Yeah,
Dino.
tsaka
dito.
si Father Jonathan Ramoso.
That's right.
Everybody,
Which we all-
nung umpisa, yeah?
And from then on, the Simbang Gabi has continued.
Yes,
mean,
yes. Yeah. Then even palaging punong-puno kahit malamig.
That's true. Nobody can stop the Filipinos from attending a religious practice.
Yes.
So not even the pandemic.
Yeah.
True. Okay. So from meron pa. So Maria
Meron pa.
Movement.
That's the Santa Cruzan. They
Ay,
also
Mon, kasali ka. There you are.
Yes, nasa gitna ako.
Yes.
There.
This is the Santa Cruzan. It was also originated from Mrs. Mercado, and it's now taken over by Baby Rosa and Evelyn and Fraine Noel.
Mhm.
And we do that on a Saturday in May, you know.
Mhm.
Minsan mulan, minsan hindi. Pero
That's
madaming
typical.
pumupunta. Maraming
Mhm.
pumupunta.
True. Next slide, one, please. Ayan, grill party.
And that's the
Ah,
PMG, that's a
I-
Filipino siya, Muta Shop, siya Gazelle Shop. Sabihin, parang nag-conglomerate na rin ng mga religious na movements dito sa Stuttgart. And once a year, they have this
They gather, which is good.
big gathering.
That we don't have to each his own activity. It's better to do cooperative work and do cooperative activities.
Yes.
Then that helps bind the community stronger.
Yeah, and not to forget also, we also have this Divine Mercy movement from
Right.
Miss Cherry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Sherry, no?
Yes, and Cecil. Okay.
Yan. Okay. And the last probably, meron pa, senyor.
Meron pang isa.
When was this?
It was, I think, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, namimilit palagi yung dalawang curse na yan, si Anita Posas and Sen Estipular said, let's make something na kasi yung mga mga retired na gusto nila mag-party kasi yung mga nag-70s, 80s na pumunta dito, wala na silang ginagawa. And syempre, alam nga namang sabi nila, mag-party naman tayo kahit minsan. Kaya, ayan, yung dalawa, nag-prepare, lumabas ako din ng announcer. Tapos, ginawa namin yan sa Park-In Hotel. Sa Marian.
That's
Platz.
good. That's
Marian
good.
Platz.
Yeah.
Yes. It was good attended, well attended. And sabi nga nila, kung walang pandemic, siguro there would be another one this
We
year.
still have a long way to go before we can join the
Sana-
party,
Sana
luckily.
nga, Doc, no?
Okay.
Para makapag-party na ulit.
Well,
Yes,
don't,
yes.
yeah, but we won't, we're not yet there. It takes a few more years. So on the
Okay.
next slide.
And that's from the Music
Ayan, I
Capella.
know this.
Yes, okay.
That's the very first, under Dr. Neumann, the very first community
Yes,
Independence Day with the Filipino community. This was
Yes,
in the Santa Maria Church with Ambassador Testis de Vega
yes.
and Father,
He
and
was
of course,
there.
Father Jonathan was there. That was really a memorable
Yep.
occasion for all of us.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
I could speak for that because we organized it for the community, and we hope we could do that again. Hopefully
Yeah.
next
So
year.
all the pictures we posted here, the moment the people see them, they're thrown back to the past. Na yung hindi lang yan, kundi yung mga before pa, mga 10 years, 20 years ago. No? And the good experiences that they had. Diba?
So in summing up, what can you share our audience? I mean, they've heard your stories, they've seen you rise and fall and rise again. And until now, we're happy that you're still here, strong and healthy, fortunately. What message can you partake, not only the Filipino community, but also those who are particularly getting into medical profession or planning to be into the medical profession?
Medical profession here in Stuttgart
In
or
Germany,
in Germany?
in Germany.
From the Philippines or?
From the Philippines. I mean, a lot of, like I said, we have a lot of doctors who are already in their accreditation and some are planning but could not yet decide.
We are, I think it's really hard to get in because of the regulations of the European economy. Kaya parang pwede lang dito talaga na if you are married to a citizen, a German citizen, then you can be given this
opportunity. But just to mention, in Germany, we now have the so-called the Skilled Immigration Act, which was enforced in Germany since the 1st of March 2020. And this somehow makes it easier, or it has created a framework to increase the allowance of our skilled workers to get into the EU states and the non-EU states, because like in this time of pandemic, we urgently need a lot of nurses and other professionals. So just so that the other viewers would know that we have this Skilled Immigration Act, and if you want to learn more about working in Germany or how things are for all those who are planning, maybe just to add to your opinion, there is a portal called Make It Germany. It's a very extensive information you will find in this portal in terms of what to do, how to apply, where to apply. So maybe the people should also know about this portal, because it's really a very useful site for those who are planning to work here in Germany, not only as doctors, but for other professionals as well.
Yeah, okay.
So, Mon, do you want to ask some more questions to Doc before we finally wrap up our kwentuhan for this morning?
Doc, siguro last question. Since matagal ka na dito, what are your plans in the next few years? Are you planning to go back in the Philippines para mag-retire, or you're gonna stay here, mag-enjoy sa Germany?
Yeah, that's a good question kasi habang bata ka pa dito, palagi mong sasabihin na after nag-retire na ako, babalik na ako sa Pilipinas, no? And enjoy my life there. Not knowing na by the time you retire, hindi ka na ganun ka-healthy as with 40. Na? Kagaya ngayon, pag 70 ka na, meron ka ng high blood pressure, baka meron ka pa ng diabetes, mga ganyan. Unang-una, if you go back to the Philippines and stay there for good, mahirap magkasakit eh. Kasi pag na-operahan ka, naubos na agad yung pera mong dala. Kaya ang ano ko, I have to stay here, no, because of my para sigurado ka sa health mo, no. And then you can visit the Philippines for 3 to 4 months if you want, but to stay there for good, hindi naman siguro pwede pa.
So
As for now, ganun ang iniisip ko na I will stay here muna and then visit then 1 or 2 months sa Philippines. And anyway, yung mga relatives mo, they can still come here and visit you.
Well, I can understand you've spent about more than 2/3 of your life in Germany. So this is practically, like I said, the first home, no? So, Mon, any other questions from your side before we finally close this morning's discussion?
So far, tita, sa akin wala.
Doc, any last words or that's it for you?
Para dun siguro sa mga bago pa lang na pupunta ng Germany or a few years pa lang dito, if you have any kung pwede kang makapag-ipon na agad ng something.
Your advice. Yeah.
Yes. Na para meron ka din sa pagtanda mo, meron ka pa rin ginagamit na na pera. It's like an investment na if you can start young now, habang bata ka pa, you can still do that. Like buying an apartment here if you stay here for good. Mga ganun. Kasi pag medyo matanda ka na, mas mahirap na yung mga ganyan.
That's true. So you've heard that. So the advice is try to save while you can. Try to do everything that you can to make yourself stable for the future.
As long as you're young.
As long as you're young, don't spend anything for gimmicks and all the good time, and then later on you have nothing. So
save now, party later.
That's right.
Exactly.
Kasama yan sa tinatawag na, ano sabi ni Doc, we can adjust to every situation. The Anpassungsfähigkeit of the Filipino.
Yan, ma'am. Yan talaga yung Anpassungsfähigkeit, our capability to adjust. Yun ang talagang nagdadala sa atin dito sa Germany. Kasi we can really easily adapt to anything.
That's true. And that's a Filipino trait that we are very good at. We are a jack of all trades, sabi nga. So thank you very much. I think this has been a fruitful discussion, and I hope our viewers have also learned from the experience of Dr. Rosales. Next month, we have another guest. We will not say the name yet, but you will know about it. We will announce soon enough for you. And if you want to ask some questions, post it on Facebook. Dr. Rosales would be ready to answer all of them, maybe in the framework of this discussion or in the medical profession. So thank you very much, and have a nice day, everyone. Mon, Doc, bye-bye, and thank you.
God bless po lahat.
God bless until the next episode.
Stay safe
next month.
Yeah, but don't forget, dito lang po, dito sa Tao at Serbisyo, ang galing ng Pilipino. See you. Salamat.
Ang kapwa't bigyang halaga, wag